20 on the track.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today I got something very special for you guys. Today I'm doing an interview and paranormal investigation of the historical haunted Eagle Hotel. I'm going to meet with a lady named Heidi there. We're going to meet at the Jetson House, which is another historical location that I might be doing an investigation at on a later date. But hope you guys end up staying to the end and liking today's video. Make sure you guys share this out with friends and family. It's a great way to let me know that you guys like this video. Well, without further ado, let's do this. Alright guys, so I made it here. I'm basically near a post office near the Eagle Hotel. The Eagle Hotel is actually behind me. I'm going to meet with the lady at the Jetson House, which is another location I'm going to be doing an investigation at on a later date. But we're going to go meet with Heidi and find out some of the history. So come on along with me. Let's go. Alright guys, I'm here with Heidi, part of the Historical Society here in Waterford, PA. She's going to run down some of the history of the Jetson House and the Eagle Hotel.
And a little bit of Waterford.
And a little bit of Waterford.
Okay, so you know where you are.
Yes.
This is the I'm part of the Fort LeBoeuf Historical Society. I'm actually the coordinator of the Judson House. Okay. Right? Now, we own all these properties. We're a volunteer society. We're nonprofits. We don't get paid for what we do. We do it because we have that passion, that drive to do it. So we own the museum next door. Okay. We own this house, the Jetson House. Across the street is a statue of George Washington, the only statue of him in a British uniform. The gardens behind that. We own the Eagle Hotel. And we bought the second storefront here on High Street that is now our office and a gift shop, and we have a room in the back that we can have functions. So we own this whole campus here. And me. Now, where we are where Fort LeBoeuf actually sat.
Oh, wow.
The Jetson House, according to this picture, you've got the Jetson House and the Eagle Hotel, and this is where we are. Now, the forts, there were 3 of them. The first one was the French fort in 1753. When they built that, George Washington was sent here to deliver a message to tell them that they needed to leave, that this is British territory. They didn't leave at first, but when they did leave, they burnt the fort and left. Then the British came in and they built their fort on top of the ruins of the old French fort. Oh. During Pontiac's Rebellion, the Indians came here and burnt that fort down. Then the Americans came here in 1794 and built their fort. Now, when the French built their fort, they built a series of forts. You can follow the waterway all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. So that was very, very important.
Yes.
And that is why the British didn't want the French to be there, because they were securing that whole part of the United States. Andrew Ellicott, brilliant man. 1794, when we built our fort here, Washington, D.C. was being surveyed and mapped out by this man. After he was done in Washington, D.C., he was then sent down here to Waterford to establish the town, because it was the next most important place in the United States that had to be established. People don't realize how important this area was. And it was because of the water. Yeah. At that time in the 1700s, the only place that they were mining salt was in upstate New York. And they would take it by boat to Erie, and then by oxen down to here, and there were warehouses on the creek, and they'd store the salt in there until the water would get high enough so they can ship it on down south.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so until they found other places to get salt, that was the main salt, and you have to have it.
And I'm assuming main trades for goods and stuff like that as well.
Absolutely. So this man I love him. There's so much to read up on him about. He's a great historical figure. He taught Meriwether Lewis of the Lewis and Clark expedition how to be a surveyor.
Oh.
Yeah, and this guy was brilliant. So after he does Waterford, he then goes up to Erie and maps out Erie. And a lot of people don't realize that downtown Erie and downtown Waterford are identical. It's just
They're
almost
twins.
the same city. Yeah, all the same street names and everything. It's kind of neat. Now, right down the street here, a man named Judge John Vincent was one of the first settlers here. And he said, fragments of human skeletons pervade the soil. There was literally bodies buried everywhere. All of those forts had their own cemeteries. We didn't know where they were. By the time the forts had been destroyed, and then we came in to build the town, we didn't know where they were. So as they were digging up the foundations of homes, they were digging up human remains everywhere. So the town was built on top of cemeteries.
Wow.
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
So if you think that, would
It's a lot of energy.
some activity,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yes.
They're everywhere. And Indian burial mounds, they were all over the place too. We know they were dug up. We know there was a lot of them, but we don't know what they did with them once they dug them up. We don't know if they put them in a mass grave somewhere, threw them over a cliff, in a lake. We don't know where they are.
They're somewhere.
We know they were dug up. Fort Freeland Massacre. This was 16 years before Waterford was made. Fort Freeland was in Northumberland County. They were massacred by the Indians. It was really bad. You can read up on it.
Right.
Well, those 4 families were at that massacre, and those were four of the first families that settled here. In fact, that Judge John Vincent, one of the Vincents. I always bring this up because when they talk about the town being haunted, I sometimes wonder if it's not them. There is a place up in Geneseo, New York. I met this man by the name of Christopher de Cesare. Have you ever met him? Okay, there's a book and a movie. It's called Please Speak to Me or something like that. And he was haunted. He went to college, and in his dorm room, he's being haunted by this creature, this thing that kept coming to him all the time. 30 years later, he decides, you know what? Whatever happened, he really wants to know what that was. So he takes Reverend Tim Shaw up there, and they're trying to figure out exactly where this was. Well, Christopher was a runner. He ran a lot, and he ran by this one park all the time, and it's the park where the torture tree is. And there was a soldier there that was tortured by the Indians, and it was bad. What they did to him was really bad. Well, he was related to these people, which I didn't realize at the time. So, I mean, that haunting and this family are kind of connected. That are the first people here.
So it makes you wonder.
The energy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, what was his name? Thomas Boyd, Captain Thomas Boyd. That chest right there, that sideboard, was made by one of the Boyds.
That's very sturdy and solid.
Oh, yeah, it is. Very heavy. So I don't know. You know, the energy is, it's just, I thought it was kind of neat that we have a connection there, you know, with the families from Northumberland County. Okay. When I first started with the Historical Society, I heard reports that there is a newer cemetery on the east end of town and the old cemetery on the west end of town. I heard that they moved the headstones and put them in the new cemetery, but they didn't move the bodies. And I thought, what is this, poltergeist?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
That's ridiculous. Then somebody said, no, what they did was they dug up the cemetery and then they paved the streets with the bodies in the dirt and stuff.
Oh,
I thought, well, that's
no,
ridiculous.
that's
Who's going to do this? So I started researching, and look what I found. Yes. Skeletons from the grave. Waterford, PA is in turmoil and indignation. An abandoned cemetery near the heart of the village owned by the borough was invaded Wednesday by a gang of laborers who dug open the graves and left the skeletons lying on the ground. The dirt is hauled away for filling streets, and the moldering bones are being carried away as curiosities.
What?
I thought, wow, that's crazy. So then I kept looking, found another one. Yesterday, a large excavation was made in an old burying ground of Waterford, 16 miles from Erie. The decaying occupants of sepulture and earth were carted away promiscuously and dumped on defective roads. Skulls and bones lie scattered about, forming a sickening spectacle, and the borough authorities are roundly denounced for permitting the outrage. The cemetery is the property of the borough and has been in disuse many years.
That is crazy.
Crazy. Well, I wasn't alive back in 1883, but I think what probably happened was they tried to move the cemetery. It was in ruins, it flooded a lot. You know, these were old graves. And I'm sure the people that were buried, you know, if they were lucky enough to be in a pine box,
yeah,
that'd be great. You know, a lot of probably just, you know, wrapped in carpets or, you know, blankets or whatever. And they probably tried to move it, and when they dug them up, they were just falling apart. You know, and they probably did the best that they could at the time. It's just guys and shovels, and this is August. It could have been hot, and we get mosquitoes here really bad, so they're probably trying their best, and it was just a sloppy job by our standards now. Yeah. And then, yeah, they needed the dirt to, you know, pave the streets and fill in the potholes and stuff. Older people that live here talk about how their parents and grandparents told them that you would find pieces of bone and broken jewelry in the streets. So there is some truth to that the streets were paved with the old cemetery.
That means that the whole street, the whole township is haunted. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Then, of course, whenever we do any kind of a paranormal thing here, I always mention how Albert Einstein says energy cannot be created or destroyed.
Yes.
It can only be changed from one form to another. And the brilliant Tesla, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, speak in terms of energy, frequency and vibration. Yeah. So, with the history that's here, you know, it dates back to the 1700s. And even before that, we know that there were Indians here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 3 forts. You've got French soldiers, you've got British soldiers, you've got Indians here. You've got the first people that settled here. You know, who's haunting this place? It could be anybody or all of them.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
I know if I was scattered in the street, I'd probably want to haunt whoever tried to do that.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yes, it is very interesting. Well, thank you for briefing us on the history of the Eagle Hotel and the Judson House and the township.
Yeah, I think you need to know that before you really start investigating.
Yes. I
didn't give like any exact names or things, so we can see what you find.
Hopefully we catch some things.
Yeah, I hope you do.
Me too. All right, so did you want to head over to the Eagle Hotel?
Head over there.
All right.
It's cold.
All right, guys. All right, guys, we're going to head over there. I'll see you guys over there, all right?
Now, it is good Amish cooking in here. That's why there's a lot of quilts and things like that.
Yeah.
And then another part. And I really don't know what these rooms were back in the day. You know, when it was a hotel. I don't know.
Oh, the gingerbread man.
Yeah. Blair Witch room. Things hanging down.
Oh, wow. Almost looks identical to the Annabelle doll.
Oh, really neat and handy. I had one of those when I was a little girl.
Hello, guys.
You can see George through the door here. Technically, it's a Virginia militia uniform, not British, but it's British. It's been a British rule. All right. Now, the Eagle had been on fire a couple times. And,
has anybody smoked in here?
Not in a long time. This is a non-smoking restaurant. Yeah, no one smoked in here in a long time.
I just got a whiff of a cigarette.
Now, back here, this was an apartment. It was like back in the 70s and 80s. Somebody did a cool painting on the ceiling.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. What they use this for here is kind of like an overflow when it's really busy downstairs. Also, like private parties, like baby showers, birthdays, things like that. There's also a little room here that at one time was a bedroom, and that's also used. And over here, in this room here, it's all the decoration storage in there, but that was a bedroom too, and those were the closets for it.
Hi, Santa.
This room here was also a bedroom at one time. When they put the kitchen in downstairs, they had to have a place for the venting, so this was put here. And on this chalkboard are the names of a lot of the ghost hunting groups that have been here. They put their names on it.
That's awesome. I gotta put HHE up there. Beyond Ghost?
Yep.
That's awesome.
We've been here a couple times.
Now, what is I'd say the most creepiest or disturbing thing that was caught here? Or even a story?
After a while, after all the years. I don't know. I like that full body apparition down there in the kitchen. I gotta think about it.
Number 3.
We were using this as our gift shop for a while. There's a man by the name of Dick Arthur, and he's redoing these rooms with different displays and stuff. Nobody was really up here doing anything. It was supposed to be part of, like, the whole museum thing, but of course we need volunteers. So Dick Arthur said, "They'll do it." So he's making these rooms into different kinds of rooms. Like this is the 1863 room. So 1863 was during the Civil War. So he's going to have a lot of stuff in here dedicated to Strong Vincent, who was born here in Waterford, and he died in Gettysburg. While he lay dying, President Lincoln made him a brigadier general. So we kind of have a nod to Mr. Lincoln in our stuff. I've got books over at the Judson House, and the one bedroom has a lot of Lincoln pictures in there. So
Yeah.
give him a nod for making our man brigadier general.
This is awesome.
It was called the Russell Room because a lot of the antiques that were in here were donated by the Russell family. And it's also going to be the 1849 room.
Wow. Just all the original stuff is amazing.
So this is when, 1849 is when Zachary Taylor came here, and Zachary Taylor stayed in the hotel. We're not sure exactly which room he was in, but he stayed here. This is an interesting story. The Erie County Historical Society was doing a deaccessioning of their artifacts. So one of the things we got was this. Well, not too long ago, we had a ghost hunting group come in here, and the one girl was laying on the bed, and they had an SLS camera, and you could see like somebody was like standing over here, kind of messing with her.
Is there a phone
One of the
here?
investigators was in the other room doing an EVP session.
I just heard a phone ring.
It could be downstairs, for the restaurant.
Okay.
So we're closed, so no one's going to answer it. So the investigator was in the other room, got an EVP, and it clearly said trunk. Okay, because that SLS camera was picking up somebody here messing with her on the bed. So I don't know. Did we pick up something when we got the trunk?
Something could be attached to that trunk?
Yeah. pictures from the Erie County Historical Society. Nice. You can see how thick the walls are by how thick the windowsills are. This is the 1826 room, also the McKay. The McKay, because a lot of the McKay family had donated a lot of stuff that's in this room. And 1826 is the year the hotel was built.
Oh, that was kind of creepy. She caught me off guard. What is that?
I don't know. That's the first time I'm seeing it.
1.5 mile horn to 11.5 mile horn. Coaching horns, 1830 to 1858. Big break. Opens, carnage covered. Open side, carnage. Carriage.
Yeah, Dick's gotten a lot of stuff and brought it in. You got a good view of the Judson house over there.
Yes.
This room is kind of cool. When the Historical Society first got this house in the 70s, they had a gentleman stay here, and he kind of like surveyed the house and mapped it out and was checking records, and so he was some historical guy. Well, when they redid the place and fixed it up, and what they did in this room is they put up some plexiglass so you could see what the inside of the walls look like. Kind of neat. Now, he's working on this room now, that's why it's a bit messy in here. This room is going to be dedicated to a couple different people.
So was the hotel originally called like the Stone Hotel?
You know what, I'm not sure if it was the Stone Hotel or always the Eagle. That I'm not sure about the very, very first. If it was called the Stone Hotel, it would have been not long.
Yeah.
You know, because all the records that I see, it always says Eagle. A couple people that's going to be featured in this room. One of them is Jean Grumpy Lovell. If you've ever seen the movie A League of Their Own.
No.
Tom Hanks, Madonna. No? Okay. Well, it's a baseball movie. It's a movie about the Rockford Peaches in the 1940s had this women's league. And Gina Davis plays the catcher in the movie. Okay. Well, the real life catcher is buried here in Waterford with her catcher's mitt. Oh. So we're going to have a thing in here dedicated to her. And also to A number one hobo. A number one. Love the man. He was a hobo. And he rode the rails, and he wrote like 12 books while he was living here.
That's nice.
And he's buried in Laurel Hills Cemetery in Mill Creek. But he lived around here, and yeah, we'll have something in here. Yeah. About him. He invented the hobo marking system where they would, like if a hobo went into a town, there would be like certain symbols or markings where they would know where to get food or where they could sleep or, you know, watch out for the mean dog. Like they knew what those symbols meant. And he wrote 12 books about it.
Speaking in codes.
Yeah. I know, yeah, he was big. He was very well known throughout the whole United States, and nobody talks about him, so we're going to dedicate a portion of this room to him. Now for the ballroom. It's a spring-laden floor, so underneath these floorboards, it's lattice, so it gives. So people, if you're dancing, it Yes. Someone had asked me one time, why we have stairs to nowhere in that corner. I found an old newspaper article talking about the Eagle Hotel, and it talks about the ceiling up here, and it also talked about the bench that went all the way around the room. So I'm assuming that that went all the way around the room, and they tore it out at some time, but left that one little piece there.
Gone but not forgotten.
Huh?
Gone but not forgotten.
Right. I just can't imagine having big bands in here. Do you know how loud that would be?
Yeah.
You know, and in the summertime, it's hot up here. And you know, those women wear those big long dresses and had their suits and couldn't do it. Now there's a lot of little rooms here. I don't know what they were originally for. If they were just storage rooms, I don't know, changing rooms. But there's all those little rooms. And here right now we got stuff from the Waterford Grange. There's some of their stuff. Yeah, we need some work. I heard that. What is that?
That was weird.
This is getting worse. We need money. We need money bad. We need some donors. I mean, look at this.
Yeah.
We need a lot of money. We need somebody with money. We work so hard and we do all the fundraisers that we can. You know, we were able to acquire all this stuff with a lot of hard work, but maintaining it and paying the bills and issues.
Any reason why there's a chair in front of number 4?
I think to keep it closed, we're having a problem with birds coming in.
Okay.
And we come up here to find dead birds because they couldn't get back out. That's why.
All right.
Neat stuff in here.
Old scrapbook.
Mm-hmm. We have a horse buried in Waterford too, which is kind of cool. Down in our park, in the ballpark.
Yeah.
His name was Old Frank. He was a Civil War horse from the South. And he was brought up here by Colonel Cole. And he was kind of the town pet. He just wandered the streets and wandered around. Some people liked him, some people didn't. And it was during the 4th of July parade. Oh, I heard it was 1887, 88? 18 something was 4th of July. And every 4th of July during the parades, the cannons go off. And when the cannon went off, he died of a heart attack right then and there in the middle of the street.
Oh.
And they buried him standing upright in the park with the American flag draped over him, and his saddle and his sword strapped to the side. And they buried him in the park. So, Old Frank. We just did a segment on the news about him, and we'd like to get a plaque or something, some kind of dedication.
Nice little monument.
Yeah. Civil War horse from the South. I think I'm going to leave the doors open.
All right.
So I'm going to unlock them when we come back tonight. So you got this place all to yourself all night. If it's spooky.
Oh, yeah.
Camera set up in here and a recorder. And I got piano music being played. And it sounded like old-time saloon type music, I played that EVP thousands of times, over and over. It's like I know the tune, and it's like an old saloon type piano music playing. About 2 years later, there was a group came up here from Pittsburgh, and they were upstairs in the ballroom, and they got the same EVP. How cool is that? Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Actually, the guy thought it was humming. He's like, "Do you hear that humming sound?" And then when we listened to the EVP, it's like, "Oh, it's that piano. I know that EVP anywhere. I've heard it thousands of times. I played it over and over and over again because there are no pianos here."
Yeah.
You know?
You have to try to confirm it with your head.
So listen to your EVPs. You might get music.
Okay. All right.
I mean, this place would be music filled.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there was a saloon downstairs. There was a bar. We know we got the ballroom. So yeah.
A lot of activity,
Yeah.
a lot of energy, a lot of fun times, sad times.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave this all open. It's cold in here.
Yes.
A little warmer down here. Hopefully heat rises, right?
Yeah.
Oh, then there's the basement too.
Yes.
Be very, 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 very careful on these stairs.
Okay.
We've had issues. What the heck?
If we need light, I got it.
I'm not getting any down there. These stairs are a little tricky, and the bottom one's a doozy. Oh, yeah. This is the basement. Nice stone walls. Needs cleaned up. And of course, every time I go into any basement in Waterford, I think, was this a grave?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Was
true.
somebody buried in this spot? Can't help but think that, you know? Is that you?
That was a whistle. It kind of sounded like either. Coming from above us.
And it's like the same sound, the
Yeah.
same tune. It's not like a random, like
No.
it was a sign blown in the wind or something.
Kind of sounds like a door. You would think we would hear it upstairs if it came if it comes from upstairs.
It's kind of, it almost sounds like it's like almost like a tune.
Yeah.
upstairs and listen.
Yeah, because there's nothing.
This is all brand new pipe too. So I'll just put in.
I don't know.
Weird.
It sounds like it's
I
upstairs.
have never heard that before.
Yeah, at first I thought it was a whistle.
Make sure it doesn't close when we get locked. This is one of those, what are they called? Velcro doors that goes up. You know, it goes.
Oh, yep, the little metal hinges. It's an old mail thing.
They cleaned it up a little bit down here. It used to be worse. It's so weird. I can hear it over here now.
We didn't hear it the whole time when we came in. We would.
I've never heard that here.
Well, hopefully you guys stayed to the end and liking the real history and well haunted history of the Eagle Hotel in Waterford, PA. Their link will be down below to their website and Facebook. Make sure you guys go check them out and tell them Hamilton's Haunted sent you. And well, the paranormal investigation of part 1 and part 2 will be up after going over the evidence. As like always, stay safe, stay positive, and always happy hunting. See you guys on the next upload.
$20 on the shot.